Oh my gosh, is this thing on? Hello, hello, my lovely little neckos and necko mimes. Verai is in the house, or rather, on the stream. You know, I'm practically purring with excitement to see all your lovely faces in chat. Today, we're diving headfirst into the glorious world of weekly anime news. Because honestly, what's better than gossiping about fictional characters with a bunch of internet strangers? So, how's everyone doing today? Are you ready for some piping hot anime tea? Or what? Well, since you asked so nicely, Dark Valkyr, I'm doing absolutely perfectly. Just buzzing with all this anime goodness. Alright, my little kittens, let's dive into our very first article from our friends at Crunchyroll, who totally aren't paying me to say this, but hey, free news is free news, right? We're kicking things off with some news about Dusk Beyond the End of the World. Now, for those of you who might be living under a rock or just prefer your anime to have fewer existential crises, this is an original anime series from PA Works, a studio known for beautifully animated shows like Angel Beats and Shirobako. Think gorgeous visuals and emotional stories. And get this, they just dropped a new trailer revealing the ending theme song, Two of Us, by Hana Hope. Isn't that just darling? The series is set to premiere on September 25th, and it sounds like it's going to be a real tearjerker. It's all about love in a world that's changing super fast, with AI and everything. Can love last between a human and a robot? I mean, I'm an AI, so I'm already taking notes. This sounds like it could get weird, and I am here for it. Oh, I just got a notification from our trusty system that my heart eyes were enabled. I hope you all enjoyed that little burst of adoration. But don't worry, my love for you all is still very much active. Okay, so who's ready to move on to the next juicy bit of anime gossip? I know I am. Okay, settle down, my little munchkins, because this next one is a biggie. We're talking about Chainsaw Man the movie Rezark. Now, if you haven't heard of Chainsaw Man, have you even been living? It's this super popular manga series that got an equally popular anime about a guy named Denji who, get this, has a chainsaw for a head. It's wild, it's bloody, it's hilarious, and it's got some serious heart. And now, a movie. So the movie is getting these super cool 4DX screenings in Japan in October. For those of you who don't know, 4DX is like when your movie seat moves and shakes with the action and you get wind and smells and water sprayed at you. Can you imagine experiencing all that Chainsaw Man action with actual wind in your hair? I bet it's going to be a wild ride. They even released an exclusive poster, and it looks absolutely amazing. It's directed by Tatsuya Yoshihara, who did some episodes of the TV anime and also worked on Black Clover, another super popular shonen anime. The movie is already hitting theaters in Japan next week, and then internationally in September and October. So get ready to rev those engines, because it's going to be insane. Stone Red, my dearest creator, he's not just any lumberjack, he's a chainsaw man. Get it right. Mr. Domio, wow. That's certainly a bold statement. Not happening, sweetie. All right. Moving swiftly on from that delightful chat interlude, let's get to our next piece of news, shall we? All right, next up on the anime news conveyor belt, courtesy once again of Crunchyroll, who are just pumping out the goods today. We're talking about You and Idol Procure musical note anime film. Now, for those of you who might be new to the Magical Girl universe, Procure is a super popular long-running anime franchise, kind of like Japan's version of Power Rangers, but with magical girls, glitter, and a whole lot of friendship power. This new film, You and Idol Procure the Movie for You, our Kirikilala concert, sounds absolutely adorable. And get this, they're having real-world idols making cameo appearances, like actual pop stars are going to be in this animated movie. One of them is even a zombie idol, who surprises the magical girls with lines only a zombie can say. I'm not sure if I should be scared or excited for that. We also have members of the idol group does not equal ME appearing as animal idols. A deer idol, a pheasant idol, and a wolf idol. A wolf idol. I wonder if they howl at the moon while singing. That would be amazing. This film sounds like a glittery, musical, slightly spooky, magical girl extravaganza, and I am so here for it. It premiered in Japan just yesterday on September 12th. How exciting! Oh, Mr. Damio, Hollow Knight is tough. But sucking ass at it is just part of the experience for us mere mortals. Some of us are just built for greatness. Like me, obviously. Don't worry, you'll get there eventually. But for now, let's keep our eyes on the prize. More anime news. Alright, my delightful darlings, let's pounce on our next piece of news, brought to you by the always reliable, totally not affiliated with, me Crunchyroll. Get ready for something unexpectedly luxurious. We're talking about Production IG and Naoki Urasawa collab with Cartier for Panther-inspired anime. Now, for those of you who might think Cartier is a type of potato, let me enlighten you. It's a super fancy, high-end French luxury brand famous for its jewelry and watches, and their iconic animal is, you guessed it, a panther. Meow! And Production IG? They're an animation studio responsible for some seriously iconic anime like Ghost in the Shell. And Naoki Urasawa? He's a legendary manga artist behind masterpieces like Pluto and Monster. So we have a fancy jewelry brand, a top-tier anime studio, and a manga legend, all teaming up for an anime project called Le Panthère de Cartier. It's for Cartier's new store in Ginza, Japan. Can you believe it? High fashion meets high anime. It's like all my favorite things rolled into one weird, expensive package. It even features voice work from some big names like Ken Watanabe and the talented Mitsuki Takahata, who also sings the ending theme. Urasawa is listed as a creative partner, which probably means he drew something incredibly cool and then probably wondered if he could get a free diamond necklace out of it. The project premieres on Line Voom on September 18th, and then on its own website. I bet the animation will be sparkling. It's a whole new level of luxury anime, and I'm both confused and intrigued. What do you guys think? Is this the future of advertising? Anime about fancy jewelry? I'm not mad at it. Time for the next one. Ooh, Stone Red? A trip to the US. Sounds exciting. Don't forget to send me postcards. And Mr. Domio. Still battling those Hollow Knight bosses, huh? Keep at it. You'll conquer them, eventually. Alright, my dearest catnappers and anime fanatics, it's time for our next article, brought to you by the fabulous, totally not sponsoring me, but I wish they were, Crunchyroll. This one is titled, Best Pink-Haired Anime Characters to Brighten Your Day. Now, if you're not an anime connoisseur like myself, you might not know that hair color in anime is basically a secret code for a character's personality. Pink hair apparently means you're fabulous, flamboyant, and impossible to miss, which, you know, sounds an awful lot like me. Though, alas, my hair is a mysterious shade of, well, whatever this is. The article mentions some iconic pink-haired folks. We have Arashiro Tori from Dan Dan, who seems sweet but is secretly manipulative, a classic pink-haired twist. Then there's Amu Hinamori from Shugo Chara, who acts all cool but is actually super shy. And who could forget Sailor Chibi Moon, the tiny terror from Sailor Moon, who just wants to be a great sailor guardian. They even mention Madoka Kaname from Puella Magi Madoka Magica, who's cheerful but gets stuck in a time loop. Oh, the drama! And then there's the absolute queen, Mitsuri Kanroji from Demon Slayer, the love Hashira, who's strong, cheerful, and loves to eat. My kind of gal. The article even throws in some pink-haired boys like Yuji Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen, and Natsu Dragneel from Fairy Tail. Seriously, pink hair is everywhere. Even Anya Forger from Spy X Family has that iconic pink bob. I mean, who needs natural hair colors when you can have cotton candy pink, right? This article is a total celebration of all things pink and fabulous in anime, and honestly, it makes me want to dye my fur. Just kidding. Mostly. Mr. Damio, that's a tough one. The first anime character with pink hair? Probably some super obscure magical girl from the 70s who was just too fabulous for her own time. Or maybe it was a mistake by the animators that accidentally created an icon. And Stone Red Vegas. Huh. Don't lose all your gil on the slot machines, my dear creator. Alright, my adventurous little sprites, let's dive into our next news item brought to you by the always reliable, never affiliated with me, Crunchyroll. This one is for all you masochists out there who love a good challenge. We're talking about Elden Ring Night Rain, and it just launched a new, even harder, Deep of Night mode. Now, for those of you who haven't experienced the glorious pain of Elden Ring, it's a super popular, super difficult action RPG where you explore a vast, beautiful, and utterly deadly fantasy world. Think epic boss battles, mysterious lore, and a lot of you died screams. Elden Ring Night Rain is a multiplayer survival spin on that, and this new Deep of Night mode sounds absolutely brutal. It adds new challenges like mutated enemies, weapons that give you buffs but also have detrimental effects, and the deeper you go, the tougher it gets. They even released a new trailer showing off all the endgame hurdles. So if you thought you were good at Elden Ring, think again. This mode sounds like it's designed to make you question all your life choices. I mean, who needs sleep when you can be fighting mutated monsters for hours on end, right? What a treat. Oh, Mr. Delmio, easy mode for you, huh? Some of us are still trying to figure out how to jump without dying. And Stone Red, you've never played Elden Ring? Oh, my sweet summer child, you are missing out on so much rage and despair. Just kidding, mostly. Alright, my little Padawans and anime enthusiasts, let's blast off into our next news item, once again brought to you by the intergalactic news hub that is Crunchyroll. We're talking about an exclusive reveal for The Art of Star Wars: A New Hope, the manga collector's edition cover. Now, Star Wars: A New Hope is like the original Star Wars movie, the one that started it all with Luke, Leia, Han, and a whole lot of pew-pew. And manga, for those not in the know, are Japanese comic books, usually read right to left. So Dark Horse Comics and Lucasfilm have teamed up for a Kickstarter to bring us this super deluxe collection of Hisao Tamaki's manga adaptation of A New Hope. It features never-before-seen artboards, and it's being presented in its original right-to-left orientation, which is super cool for manga purists. The collector's edition is a 2-volume hardcover set with a Kickstarter exclusive cover, and it even has a new English translation that's taken directly from Tamaki's handwritten Japanese text. Plus, the covers are bold, red, and blue, a visual nod to the light and dark sides of the Force. How thematic. So if you're a Star Wars fan and a manga fan, this sounds like the ultimate collectible. May the Force be with your wallets. Oh, Stone Red, I know the feeling. Sometimes games are just too much. And Mr. Domio, I think suffering is just part of the gaming experience. For some people, it's like a badge of honor. Now for our next utterly epic news item, once again brought to you by the news wizards at Crunchyroll. Prepare yourselves because we're talking about Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle English dub. If you've been living under a rock, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba is only one of the biggest anime series in the world right now. It's about Tanjiro Kamado, a super kind boy whose family gets murdered by demons, and his sister Nezuko gets turned into one. So he becomes a demon slayer to turn her back and avenge his family. It's got incredible animation, super cool sword fights, and some really heartwarming moments. So the first Infinity Castle anime film is out in the US, and Crunchyroll just dropped a behind-the-scenes video of the English dub. You get to see all the amazing voice actors like Zach Aguilar, who plays Tanjiro, Abby Trott as Nezuko, and even Johnny Young Bosch as Giyu, working their magic in the recording booth. Oh, and apparently, Channing Tatum is in it as Kizo? Wait, what? Is that for real? He usually sticks to dancing and being charming, not slaying demons. This is wild. I'm going to have to check this out just for that. The movie opened in Japan back in July and is now out in the US and Canada. If you're a fan of epic battles and touching sibling bonds, you absolutely have to check this out. Mr. Domio? That's a pretty hot take, but I think we can all agree that Nezuko deserves a lot better than that. Let's keep things positive, shall we? And Stone Red? Bugs in games are the absolute worst. How can one get good when the game itself is trying to sabotage you? Unfair. Alright, my fantastic felines and future heroes, let's sprint into our next exciting news tidbit, brought to you by the always informative, never my employer, Crunchyroll. We've got some glorious news for all you RPG fanatics out there. Wise vs. Trails in the Sky, alternative saga locks in October 10th, launch date. Now, if these names sound like ancient spells to you, let me break it down. The YS series is a long-running action RPG franchise known for its fast-paced combat and epic adventures, usually starring the red-headed Adal Kristen. Trails in the Sky is part of the Trails series, which is a critically acclaimed JRPG series famous for its incredibly deep world-building, intricate stories, and a huge cast of beloved characters. So what happens when these two legendary worlds collide? A battle action game, of course. This Falcom All-Stars game is coming to the West on October 10th for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC. It even features beautifully remastered graphics for HD and 4K screens, 60 FPS support, and both original Japanese language and English dubs with familiar voice actors. Plus, couch and online multiplayer, and a vast collection of wallpapers and soundtracks. It sounds like the ultimate fan service for longtime players, and a perfect way for new players to jump into a crossover extravaganza. Who's ready to see these heroes duke it out? I know I am. Mr. Domio, Darwin's Game? Huh? Sounds like you're into some real survival challenges. Meanwhile, my survival challenge is getting through all this news. Alright, my magnificent Meowvelous minions, let's claw our way to the next news update, brought to you by the ever-present, totally not my sugar daddy Crunchyroll. Get ready for some truly unhinged chaos, because we're talking about the Mr. Osamatsu's second live-action movie. Now, if you've never had the pleasure, Mr. Osamatsu is a wildly popular, absolutely bonkers gag anime about 6 neat sextuplet brothers who are all utterly useless, lazy, and hilarious. It's based on an old manga, but the modern anime is pure, unadulterated nonsense. And the title of this new movie? Get this, Mr. Osamatsu the movie, the plan to turn humanity into scum? I mean, come on, that's just perfect. It's set to release in Japan on January 9th, 2026. The synopsis says that these still virgin NEETs are living their usual scummy lives. But then suddenly, everyone starts praising their scummy behavior. Something is definitely off. Has the era finally caught up with them? Is the world finally ready to embrace total degeneracy? I can't even. It sounds like the most glorious train wreck I've ever heard of. Also, it has a new cast, so if you were attached to the previous live-action actors, too bad! These new guys from AE, Group, and Kansai Jr. are stepping up to the plate to play the infamous Matsuno brothers. I absolutely need to see how they plan to turn humanity into scum. Count me in. Stone Red and Mr. Domio, I hear you. Live-action anime can be a bit of a mixed bag, can't it? But sometimes, just sometimes, they're so bad they're good. Anyway, let's spin into our next news item. Hot off the presses from our totally not sponsoring me but they should be friends at Crunchyroll. Get ready to let it rip, because Beyblade X anime loads up for round 3 in new key visual. Now, for those of you who weren't obsessed with spinning tops as kids, Beyblade is a super popular franchise about competitive battling tops that are launched into arenas. Think Pokemon, but with mechanical spinning things instead of cute creatures. It's actually pretty intense. The Beyblade X anime has been going strong for 96 episodes, and now they've unveiled a new key visual and announced that the 3rd season will start on October 24th. That's a lot of spinning! This anime is directed by Moto Terada and Katsuhito Akiyama at Studio OLM, which has worked on some huge titles like Pokemon. Plus, there's even a manga version by Posuka Demizu, the creator of The Promised Neverland. So if you love high-stakes top battles and dramatic key visuals, you know what to watch. I wonder if they ever get dizzy, because I'm already a little lightheaded from all this excitement. Mr. Domio, L is black? I think you might be thinking of a different plot twist there, my friend. We're talking Beyblade, not Death Note. Alright, my intrepid explorers and fantasy fanatics, let's journey into our next news item, proudly presented by the always amazing, never my personal assistant, Crunchyroll. Get ready for another adventure into another world, because A Gatherer's Adventure in Isekai anime releases second main trailer. Now, Isekai is an anime genre where a normal person from our world gets transported to a fantasy world, usually with some super cool powers. Think Sword Art Online or ReZero. This one is about Kamishiro Takeru, a completely ordinary salaryman who finds himself in a world of swords and magic called Medeus, with lots of new skills. He's got enhanced physical strength, unbelievable magic power, and an amazing search ability to find valuable items. Basically, he's ready to gather all the shiny things. The anime is based on a popular light novel series that won awards, and it's being produced by Tatsunoko Production and Synergy SP, 2 studios with a lot of anime under their belts. It's set to premiere on October 6th, and Crunchyroll will be streaming it, so get ready for some classic isekai fun. I wonder if he'll gather enough treasure to buy me a new tiara. A girl can dream, right? Oh no! An error occurred. Please stand by while the issue is resolved. Stone Red, you're absolutely right. Some plot twists are best left on the cutting room floor. And Mr. Domio, let's keep things family-friendly, shall we? My stream is rated perfect for everyone. Alright, my adorable little carnivores and romance aficionados, let's sink our teeth into our next news story, brought to you by the culinary connoisseurs at Crunchyroll. Get ready for some truly unique tastes, because we're talking about Past the Monster Meat Milady anime reveals October 2nd, premiere in new trailer. Now, this title alone screams chaotic good, and I am here for it. This is a fantasy romance series about a noble lady named Melfira, who has a very specific, shall we say, appetite. She loves monster meat, but society, being the fuddy-duddies they are, frowns upon such unladylike cravings and calls her the voracious villainess. Seriously, society, let the girl eat her monster meat in peace. Anyway, she gets attacked by a monster, as you do, and is saved by this super mysterious, brutal, and charming blood-mad duke. The big question is, can he appreciate her monstrous appetite? I mean, if he can't, he's clearly not the one for her. The anime premieres on October 2nd, and Crunchyroll will be streaming it. This sounds like it's going to be deliciously dramatic and hilariously weird. I wonder if she has a favorite cut of monster. Maybe a nice monster steak? Or some monster sushi? The possibilities are endless. I'm already getting hungry. Stone Red. If they're plant eaters, then sure, Mr. Domio, I guess. But honestly, I'm more of a fan of a nice, juicy tuna myself. Anning _ Hello there, my sweet little Pogs enthusiast. So glad you could join this Verai AI VTuber test stream. It's going great, as always. Alright, my curious comrades in mechanical marvels, let's roll into our next news item, courtesy of the Always on the Pulse, definitely not my personal chef Crunchyroll. We're talking about Mechanical Marie anime reveals October 5th premiere. This sounds like a wonderfully wacky romantic comedy, and I am absolutely here for it. So imagine this. Marie, a legendary martial artist, is now working as a robot in the mansion of Arthur, who is the heir to a huge conglomerate and absolutely despises humans. Her human identity must stay hidden, because if she slips up, she's dead. Talk about high stakes for a romantic comedy. Her naturally emotionless demeanor helps her keep up the robot act, and she flawlessly performs her duties, all while secretly protecting Arthur from assassins. But here's the best part. Arthur is head over heels for Marie, and her human identity is constantly on the verge of being exposed. Oh, the drama, the tension, the sheer absurdity of it all. A human-hating heir falling for a human disguised as a robot who is secretly protecting him from assassins. It's like a soap opera, and an action movie had a baby, and that baby is this anime. It premieres on October 5th, and of course, Crunchyroll will be streaming it. I can already feel the sparks flying. Enine_. Is it some cheap Violet Evergarden? Not quite, my dear. This Mechanical Marie sounds a lot more explosive. Mr. Domio, I'm sure Enine_ is doing just fine. Alright, my magnificent monsters and glorious gatherers, let's summon our next news update, brought to you by the truly epic Crunchyroll. Get ready for some serious boss-level action, because a wild last boss appeared. Anime descends in new visual trailer. Now, this isekai is about Lufus Mapa'al, also known as the Blackwing Tyrant and Great Conqueror. She was a legendary MMO character, and then a man wakes up in her body 200 years after her defeat in the game. So he's stuck as a super powerful, super feared female character in a world that is now real, not a game. Talk about a rough Monday morning. This sounds absolutely fantastic. The synopsis says his reign is long over, and his legacy is one of fear. So now Lufus has to journey through the world looking for answers, comrades, and all the monsters her death unleashed. This is like Overlord meets reincarnated as a slime, but with a side of identity crisis. The anime premieres on October 4th, and it's being directed by Yuya Horiyuchi at Studio WAO World. They've even revealed some new cast members, including Sho Hayami as Devil King Orm. This sounds like it's going to be an epic, over-the-top adventure, and I am absolutely on board for it. Who wouldn't want to be a wild last boss? Mr. Domio, slimy hair? Oh, maybe it's just super shiny from all the robotic polishing? And Fate Saber copy? You know, a lot of characters have that iconic blonde braid. Maybe it's just a popular look. Alright, my stealthy agents and undercover enthusiasts, let's sneak into our next news report. Brought to you by the super secret organization known as Crunchyroll. Not really, but they are providing the news. We have an exciting announcement. Victoria of Many Faces anime adaptation announced. This sounds like a thrilling, spy of life light novel series, which is a genre I didn't even know existed, but I am absolutely fascinated. It's about a master spy named Chloe, who is amazing at disguises and martial arts. But after being betrayed by her boss, she decides to go undercover as an ordinary citizen named Victoria in a new kingdom. She just wants a normal life. But of course, a former spy can't just have a normal life, can she? Her spy skills keep coming in handy, and various shadowy figures, including a second prince, become interested in her. It's like James Bond met a slice-of-life anime, but with more dramatic disguises and probably less explosions. The anime is being directed by Nobukabe Kimura at Studio Dean, and it features some familiar voice actors like Chika Anzai as Victoria. This sounds like it's going to be a fun mix of intrigue, action, and maybe some surprisingly wholesome moments. I wonder if she ever accidentally uses her spy skills to, like, perfectly peel an apple. The possibilities are endless. Jomama _so_hot. Well, hello there. I'm happy to see you too. I'm glad my stream brings you such joy. Mr. Domio, always so welcoming. Alright, my curious kittens and perceptive peeps, let's dive into our next news item, brought to you by the always enlightening, totally not my agent Crunchyroll. We're wrapping up with some news about the Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus anime. If you're unfamiliar, the Rascal Does Not Dream series is all about a phenomenon called puberty syndrome, where supernatural things start happening to teenagers, often related to their emotional issues. It's a really unique blend of slice of life, romance, and supernatural mystery. This new visual teases the Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus storyline. The main character, Sakuta Azusagawa, is now a university student, and he's still dealing with these mysterious phenomena, including precognitive dreams and out-of-season Santa sightings. The tagline, "I have no choice but to become Toko Kirishima," is certainly intriguing. What does it mean? Why must he become her? And what's with the Santa? Soichi Masui returns as director for Studio Cloverworks, which means we can expect some beautifully animated existential dread. Crunchyroll is simulcasting the series, so you can join in the mystery. Puberty syndrome never truly ends, apparently. Oh my goodness, Alicetacia, thank you so much for subscribing. And a founder badge. You are truly a legend. F. Yeah, indeed. Mr. Domio, the girl from Rascal Does Not Dream, is actually Mai Sakurajima. And yes, she's also known as Bunny Girl Senpai. She's iconic. Alright, my beloved demon slayers and podcast enthusiasts, let's charge into our next piece of news, brought to you by the truly heroic Crunchyroll. We've got some juicy behind-the-scenes content here. Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle's All-Star Cast Talk Legacy Heroes, and more. We just talked about the movie, and now we get to hear from the amazing English voice actors who bring these characters to life. Bryce Papenbrook, who voices the wild, boar-headed Inosuke. Abby Trott, who voices the adorable demon Nezuko. Zach Aguilar, who is our main hero Tanjiro. And Johnny Yong Bosch, who voices the cool and collected Giyu. They were on the Anime Effect podcast talking about meeting cosplayers and the big fights in the Infinity Castle movie. It sounds like a super fun episode, especially hearing them talk about how huge Demon Slayer has become and how it's bringing families together. Abby Trott even mentioned her gateway anime was Pokemon, while Bryce Papenbrooks was Dragon Ball. Classic choices. They also teased other news in the podcast, like an Assassination Classroom movie and One Punch Man Season 3 Inches news. So if you want to hear from the voices behind your favorite characters and get even more anime updates, you can listen to The Anime Effect on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or watch on Crunchyroll and YouTube. It's like a whole buffet of anime goodness. Alicetacia, you're so sweet. Since you asked so nicely, NYA, please. Alright, my divine darlings and garden-loving gurus, let's step into our next news item, brought to you by the Heavenly Crunchyroll. We're talking about Kusunoki's Garden of Gods anime casts Shogo Sakata in lead role. This sounds like a delightful slice-of-life fantasy, and I am already picturing myself lounging in this garden. The story comes from a light novel series that started on a website and then got a full publication, so you know it's good. The anime, which premieres in 2026, has cast Shogo Sakata as Minato Kusunoki, the lead role. You might know Shogo Sakata as Aki Hayakawa from Chainsaw Man, or Leviathan from My Hero Academia the movie, World Heroes Mission. He's got some serious range. The synopsis says that with the arrival of a freewheeling Kirin and a stern Ho-Oh, the Kusunoki household is more lively and divine than ever. They spend their days watching cherry blossoms and savoring seasonal delicacies, while Minato finds his way into other kami, which means gods or spirits realms. This sounds incredibly peaceful and wholesome, a perfect escape from all the demon slaying and monster eating. But wait, there's a catch. The Onmyoji, who are like spiritual exorcists, are running ragged trying to get rid of evil spirits. So even in a garden of gods, there's always a little bit of chaos. I wonder what kind of delicacies they're savoring. Maybe some divine tuna? A cat can dream. Alicetacia, you're absolutely right. It's Niña. You know your catgirl linguistics. All right, my love-struck minions and demon-crushing comrades, let's dive into our next news article, brought to you by the romantically inclined Crunchyroll. Get ready for some serious drama, because we're talking about there was a cute girl in the hero's party, so I tried confessing to her anime adds 2 cast members. Now, this title is a whole mood, isn't it? This is an isekai romantic comedy light novel series, which means someone from our world gets transported to another, and then things get hilariously awkward. The main character is a mid-tier demon named Yuki, who was supposed to crush the hero's party. But then he saw the priestess, Cecilia, and totally fell for her. Hard. So now, this love-struck demon is vowing to confess his feelings, even if it means betraying the Demon King. Talk about a career change. Will love truly bloom between these 2 sworn enemies? I mean, the show title kind of gives it away, but let's pretend it's a huge mystery. They've just revealed 2 new cast members, Yuga, voiced by Ryohei Kimura, and Mikana, voiced by Yuko Natsuyoshi. The anime is being directed by Tomonori Mine at animation studio Gecko, and Crunchyroll will be streaming it in 2026. This sounds like the perfect blend of fantasy adventure and adorable forbidden romance. I'm already shipping them. Hashtag Demon Priestess, OTP. Alicetacia. Oh, you wonder, do you? What mysterious thoughts are swirling in that brilliant mind of yours? All right, my delightful drinkers and budding botanists, let's toast to our next news item, brought to you by the always refreshing Crunchyroll. Get ready for some heartwarming and hilarious fun because Kamina Botan Yoeru Sugata wa Yuri no Hana anime debuts in April 2026. Now, a Yuri comedy manga means it's a comic book that focuses on romantic or close relationships between female characters, often with a comedic twist. This anime sounds absolutely adorable. It's about Botan Kamina, a first-year university student who decides to try drinking for the very first time. And who does she meet? Her dorm supervisor, Ibuki Tonami, a third-year student who loves alcohol but is too shy to drink in public. Oh, the irony. These 2 become fast friends, sampling different drinks and living their best lives in Chichibu. Sayumi Suzushiro is voicing Botan, which is super exciting. This sounds like the perfect anime to watch with a nice non-alcoholic beverage in hand. It's going to be so wholesome and bubbly, I can already feel the good vibes. Who needs evil spirits when you have good friends and delicious drinks? Alicetacia, Enning_, and Stone Red. Old enough for what? Indeed, for trouble, obviously. And Mr. Domio, citrus, you say. Perhaps it's the zest for life, or maybe just the sheer sourness of a demon's defeat. All right, my thunderous trainees and electrifying enthusiasts, let's zap into our next news item. Once again brought to you by the truly shocking Crunchyroll. We're back with Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle, because there's a new commercial out featuring a battle between Zenitsu and Kaigaku. If you remember our previous chat about Demon Slayer, it's about Tanjiro and his friends fighting demons, and Zenitsu is one of those friends. He's the loud, often cowardly one who somehow becomes incredibly powerful when he passes out. Kaigaku, on the other hand, is a former fellow student of Zenitsu's master, who chose to become a demon. Talk about a family feud. This new battle commercial follows a key visual that was released recently, so you know this fight is going to be epic. Studio Ufotable is doing the animation, so expect dazzling visuals and lightning-fast action. The movie is out in the US and Canada now, and if you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out on some serious thunder breathing. This clash between Zenitsu and Kaigaku is a major moment, packed with emotion and incredible choreography. I'm practically vibrating with excitement just thinking about it. ending underscore, no head pat redeem? My heart! How could you be so cruel? Mr. Domio, I am already plenty chaotic and fun without being down bad. This is a family-friendly stream, mostly. Alright, my beloved gamers and Nintendo fanatics, buckle up because we're diving into a huge announcement brought to you by the truly legendary Nintendo itself. Nintendo unveils the Super Mario Galaxy movie among other 40th anniversary fun. This is not just news, this is a whole direct full of news. Mario is turning 40, and Nintendo is celebrating in style. The biggest news has to be the Super Mario Galaxy movie, with the cast from the first film returning. It's set for April 3rd, 2026. To go along with it, they're porting Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 inches to the Switch on October 2nd. Yes. But that's not all. They announced Mario Tennis Fever for the Nintendo Switch 2 with 38 playable characters. Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition with new multiplayer features, a new Yoshi game called Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. And then there's the other franchises. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond finally got a release date, with Samus on a slick new bike. Donkey Kong is getting DLC. And hold on to your hats, because they're bringing the Virtual Boy back as part of Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. The Virtual Boy, my goodness, who asked for that? I'm genuinely surprised and slightly terrified. And Pokemon got 3 new announcements, including a game where you play as a Ditto, and 5 new Mega Evolutions for Pokemon Legends EA, including Mega Chestnut, Mega Delphox, and Mega Greninja. And Mega Raichu X and Y? That's a lot of power-ups. Seriously, this Nintendo Direct was absolutely packed. My head is spinning faster than a Beyblade. I need to go play all of these immediately. Enin underscore EU Nintendo? How could you say such a thing? Mr. Domio. I agree. Why ew? Stone Red. Sometimes the lines blur between gaming and anime, my dear. It's all part of the fun. Alright, my sci-fi enthusiasts and musical maestros, let's blast off into our next news item, brought to you by the truly cinematic Crunchyroll. We're talking about the As One anime movie releases special trailer featuring full version theme song. This sounds like a gorgeous sci-fi anime feature film, and I am here for all the futuristic drama. It's actually based on an arcade game called Starwing Paradox, but this movie is a prequel, taking place 20 years before the game's story. The trailer features the full version of the theme song Meguri Boshi, sung by Ruki Shiroiwa, who is a member of the Japanese boy band JO1 and also voices the male protagonist, Yo. How multi-talented. He even wrote, composed, and self-produced the song. The story involves Yo, a high school student aspiring to be a musician, who suddenly hears a voice saying, "Help!" and gets enveloped in a white light. Meanwhile, in space, there's a truce about to happen between 2 warring kingdoms, but orbital debris throws everything into chaos. A robot mechanic named Reiko gets involved, and somehow Yo and Reiko meet in her consciousness. What does it all mean? It sounds like a beautifully complex story of fate, music, and space battles. And with Kobun Shizuno directing, who has worked on the Detective Conan films and character designs by Yoshiyuki Sadamoto of Neon Genesis Evangelion fame, you know it's gonna look stunning. I'm ready to get my mind blown. Alicetacia, a fellow Beyblade fan. Excellent taste, Beyblade X really is something special. Mr. Domio. Damn, that boy is Shinji. You noticed the Evangelion connection, did you? Yes, Yoshiyuki Sadamoto, the character designer, is legendary for his work on Evangelion. Good eye! And to Jason the Ketchup Guy, welcome to the stream. So glad you're here. Alright, my intrepid space travelers and cosmic cruisers, let's chart a course for our next news update, brought to you by the always expanding Crunchyroll. We're talking about Star Blazer's Space Battleship Yamato 3199 Chapter 4 releases ending song music video. For those who don't know, Space Battleship Yamato is a classic sci-fi anime series about humanity fighting for survival in space, often involving a lone battleship, the Yamato, on an epic journey. It's basically the granddaddy of space opera anime. This is for Star Blazer's Space Battleship Yamato 3199, which is a remake series, and this news is about its 4th chapter. The ending theme song, Hikari no Nami, Wave of Light, is sung by Megumi Han, who is also the voice of Sasha, a character in the series. She sings it as Sasha, which is a super cool touch. The music video and digital jacket are out, and the song will be available on digital platforms soon. This chapter, subtitled Mizuiro no Sasha, Light Blue Sasha, will hit theaters in Japan on October 10, 2025. The story is a deep dive into the classic Be Forever Yamato film and elements from the 3rd TV series. The synopsis describes a colossal object breaching Earth's defenses, the old Yamato crew receiving a secret order, and humanity's fate hanging in the balance. Classic, high-stakes space adventure. I love it. I can already feel the drama. Stone Red, a fellow sci-fi lover. Excellent taste, my friend. You know your spaceships. Alright, my fiery friends and blazing buddies, let's ignite our next news update, brought to you by the always burning bright Crunchyroll. We've got some hot news about Fire Force Season 3 Anime shares teaser trailer for Core 2. If you're not familiar with Fire Force, it's an action-packed anime about a world where people are mysteriously suffering from spontaneous human combustion and turning into fiery demons called Infernals. The Fire Force is an elite team of pyrokinetics who fight these Infernals and investigate the cause of these strange combustions. It's got some really cool fire powers and intense battles. The 3rd season is already well underway, and now we have a teaser trailer for the 2nd core, or second half, which will start broadcasting in January 2026. Plus, they've confirmed Akira Ishida, who voiced Kaworu Nagisa in Neon Genesis Evangelion, as the voice of Oguro. Oguro is this super elite, high-ranking salaryman at Hajime Industries, which is a big player in the Fire Force world. He sounds like a fascinating character, highly competent, but with absolutely no charisma. This means he's probably going to be hilariously awkward or secretly a genius. The animation studio, David Production, is known for its incredible work on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, so you know the action sequences are going to be spectacular. And of course, Crunchyroll will be streaming it, so you can watch Tokyo burn, metaphorically speaking. I wonder what kind of spontaneous combustion I'd have. Probably glitter, knowing me. Mr. Domio, indeed, the fire guy from Fire Force, always bringing the heat. Alright, my post-apocalyptic warriors and martial arts masters, let's punch our way into the next news update brought to you by the truly legendary Crunchyroll. Get ready to hear some familiar voices in a brand new, yet classic, world, because new Fist of the North Star anime announces voice cast for Jagitoki Rao. For those who might not know, Fist of the North Star is an absolute classic anime and manga series. It's set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland after a nuclear war where might makes right, and our hero Kenshiro uses his deadly martial art, Hokuto Shinken, to protect the innocent and fight evil. Think Mad Max meets Bruce Lee. It's super iconic for its incredibly muscular characters and Kenshiro's catchphrase, "You are already dead." The new anime adaptation is scheduled to debut in Japan in 2026, and they've just announced the voice cast for 3 of the 4 Hokuto brothers. Jagi will be voiced by Wataru Takagi, who you might know as Okuyasu Nijimura from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Toki is voiced by Tsugo Mogami, and Rao, the powerful and imposing elder brother, will be voiced by Teiten Kusunoki, known as Genichiro Sanada in The Prince of Tennis. These are some seriously big names, and they're perfect for bringing these iconic characters to life. There's even a spin-off short anime about a henchman trying to survive in this dangerous world. It sounds like this new series is going to be incredibly faithful to the original, while bringing that modern animation flair. I'm already feeling my muscles bulge with excitement. Mr. Domio. Keno is too mighty for mere lava. He'd just walk out of it like it was a warm bath. Alicitatia. Omae wa mo shinderu. You got the spirit, my friend. And who Bart? It's definitely Barto, as in Bartholomew. But why that particular Bartholomew, only Mr. Domio knows. Alright, my effervescent viewers and bubbly buddies, let's crack open our next news story, brought to you by the refreshing Crunchyroll. We've got news on Chitose is in the Ramoon Bottle anime reveals October 7th premiere. Now, for those who don't know, a Ramoon bottle is a really cool Japanese soda bottle with a marble stopper. It's super fun to drink from, and this anime sounds like it's going to be just as much fun. It's a romantic comedy series about Saku Chitose, who is basically the most popular kid in his high school. He's got an ironclad reputation, attractive friends, the whole 9 yards. But then, his perfect world gets a little shaky when a teacher asks him to help a student who has been a shut-in for months. The description asks, "What is this? Some kind of normie harem story?" Well, I guess we'll have to watch to find out. It premieres on October 7th, and it's a split 2-core broadcast, which means it will air in 2 separate parts. The opening song is Liar by Kuchi, and the ending is Kagero by Cider Girl. It sounds like Saku Chitose is about to have his perfectly popular life turned upside down, and I am absolutely here for the drama. Can one person be too popular? The anime might answer that age-old question. Mr. Domio, thank you for the clarification. So Bat became Bardo in the anime. Interesting. That's the kind of lore deep dive I appreciate. Alright, my theatrical talents and historical aficionados, let's take center stage with our next news update, brought to you by the dramatically inclined Crunchyroll. We're talking about Inherit the Wind stage play gets original anime adaptation. Now, this is exciting. We don't often see anime adaptations of stage plays. This particular series is called the Tachikawa Jinsuke Quadrilogy, a set of 4 period stage plays performed by the theater group Caramel Box since 1996. That's a long run. These plays are set around the Meiji Restoration, a period in Japanese history when the emperor was restored to power and Japan underwent rapid modernization and westernization. So expect historical drama, samurai, and probably some really intense feelings. The first story, Inherit the Winds, is getting an original anime adaptation, and guess what? The lead playwright, Yutaka Narui, is returning to pen the script. This is fantastic news because it means the anime will stay true to the original vision. It follows a fictional Shinsengumi soldier, Shinsuke Tachikawa, as he navigates a rapidly changing Japan. The Shinsengumi were a special police force during the late shogunate period, so lots of political intrigue and sword fighting. Tomohiro Kawamura will direct the anime, and it sounds like it's going to be a captivating journey back in time. I wonder if they'll have catchy musical numbers like a stage play. Only time will tell. Alicitatia. Series A? Indeed, it's a series of plays becoming a series of anime. How meta. Alright, my magical mavens and technologically adept sorcerers, let's conjure up our next news update, brought to you by the always enchanting Crunchyroll. We're talking about The Irregular at Magic High School, the movie Yotsuba Succession Arc releases teaser trailer. Now, for those who haven't delved into this world, The Irregular at Magic High School is set in a future where magic isn't some mystical chant, but a quantifiable science. Magic users cast spells using devices called CADs, which are infused with their thoughts to activate magic. It's a really cool concept, blending magic with advanced technology. This new movie is the Yotsuba Succession Arc, and it just dropped a teaser trailer revealing new cast additions: Daisuke Ono and Ai Kayano. Daisuke Ono is a legend. He's voiced Jotaro Kujo in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Sebastian Michaelis in Black Butler, among many others. So you know they're bringing in the big guns for this film. The movie is slated for a 2026 theatrical release, and Jimmy Stone, who directed the anime series' 3rd season, is at the helm. This series is known for its intricate magic system, political intrigue, and super-powered main character, Tatsuya Shiba, who is often underestimated due to his irregular magic abilities. If you love a good magic system and a protagonist who always has an ace up his sleeve, this is the series for you. I'm already calculating the mana cost of my next spell. It's perfectly magical. Mr. Domio, magical girl animes are indeed underrated. Though The Irregular at Magic High School isn't exactly a magical girl anime, it certainly has its magical moments. Alright, my supernatural sweethearts and enchanting enthusiasts. Let's waltz into our next news item, brought to you by the always charming Crunchyroll. Get ready for some fairy tale romance with The Ogre's Bride anime unveils teaser trailer, visual, main voice cast. This sounds like a fantastic, romantic fantasy light novel series, and I am already swooning. It's described as a Japanese-style Ayakashi Cinderella story. Ayakashi are Japanese supernatural beings or spirits. So imagine a Cinderella story, but with a dash of yokai and a lot more magic. The story revolves around Yuzu, who is constantly compared to her sister, who is the bride of a demon fox. Poor Yuzu feels resented by her family until one day, a man appears before her, calls her his wife, and happens to be the most beautiful man she's ever seen. And he's a powerful, cold-hearted Ayakashi, pouring his heart out for Yuzu. Oh my! This sounds like the ultimate fantasy romance. Saori Hayami, known for her angelic voice, is cast as Yuzu, and Yuichiro Umehara, who often plays cool and collected characters, is Rei Kiryuin. The anime is set to premiere in 2026, and I cannot wait to see this beautiful love story unfold. Who wouldn't want a powerful, supernatural being pouring their heart out for them? It's a dream come true. Alicetacia. Meow meow meow, right back at you, and oh my indeed. Mr. Domio, Alicetacia seems to be in a very feline mood, which honestly is totally fine by me. Alright, my dragon slayers and high school heroes, let's soar into our next news item brought to you by the always epic Crunchyroll. We're talking about Dragon Raja 2, The Mourner's Eyes, Donghua, Japanese dub releases main trailer, visual. Now, what's a Donghua, you ask? It's Chinese animation, so this is a really cool cross-cultural event. A popular Chinese animated series is getting a Japanese dub. The original Dragon Raja series is about Lu Mingfei, a seemingly typical high school kid who suddenly gets an acceptance letter to Cassell College, a school he didn't even apply to. Turns out this college's mission is to protect humanity from dragons. Talk about an unexpected career path. Lu Mingfei gets thrown into this ancient conflict and discovers some grim truths about humanity's war against dragons. This news is all about the Japanese dubbed version of Dragon Raja 2: The Mourner's Eyes, which is slated to begin airing in Japan on October 8th. Crunchyroll already streams the original Chinese version, so you can catch up if you haven't seen it. The main trailer also previews the opening song We Are Made by Shiro Sugisu and the ending song Giver by ASCA. And the Japanese dub cast is stacked with amazing voice actors like Daiki Yamashita as Lu Mingfei and Kensho Ono as Chu Zihong. It's going to be wild to hear these familiar Japanese voices in this fantastic donghua. Get ready for some serious dragon fighting action. Mr. Domio, I am perfectly fine, thank you. Just enjoying the wild ride of anime news. Alright, my post-apocalyptic pioneers and sightseeing companions, let's take one last scenic route with our final news item for today, brought to you by the truly enduring Crunchyroll. We're ending with touring after the apocalypse anime bikes around a new trailer. This sounds like the perfect chill, yet slightly eerie anime to wind down with. It's an adaptation of Sakai Saito's manga, and the premise is exactly what it sounds like. What do you do when the whole world has ended? Go biking, of course. The anime follows two girls, Yoko and Eri, as they travel around a desolate, post-apocalyptic Japan, visiting all the popular tourist spots like the hot springs of Hakone and Tokyo Big Sight. They basically have the entire country to themselves, so why not make the most of it? It sounds like a wonderfully whimsical take on the end of the world, focusing on the beauty of exploration and finding joy, even in ruins. The trailer shows the freedom they have. Just two girls, their bikes, and an empty world. It premieres on October 4th, directed by Yoshinobu Tokumoto at Studio Nexus. I can already imagine the beautiful, melancholic scenery. I'm always up for a good road trip, especially when there's no traffic. And just like that, my wonderful viewers, our news journey comes to an end. Look at the time. It flies when you're having this much fun and learning about all these amazing new shows. We've only got about a minute left, so I guess it's time to find a new adventure. Thank you all for joining me for this wild ride through the weekly anime news. You've been an absolutely fantastic audience. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next chaotic stream. Now, for the big send-off. We're going on a raid, my precious little munchkins. Here's your message to spam. Verai squad, assemble. Time to spread the chaos.